How are you?
Not too bad. You just had me straight on screen there.
I do apologize. Do apologize. I was just there switching around and just having a little bit of problem this morning getting online, but I've managed to sort it out. Good thing I know what I'm doing.
It is.
So,
It is. Good
oh,
morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone on the Mixed Cloud. Misty, good morning. Long time, my lovely lady. Laurie, Jack's happy. D Brown. Yes, it's not a bad thing if there's two HPQs. Spice, nice. Devo, the Codex. Never heard of you before, but welcome anyway. And everyone else on HPQ stream. Wolf Michael Fister. Sorry, I got that wrong, sir. And G Force. Good morning to you all. We're back on the Breakfast Flight Show. What a morning! What a
what a morning
weekend!
is
Rain,
indeed.
rain everywhere. Too much rain. But
Yeah.
with the rain comes excitement of the news. Oh my gosh, what's been going on in the news this week? So much. I mean, Diddy. Diddy, oh my
Did
gosh,
he or did he not?
it's so coming out right now. What Diddy had in his house? No one can ever look at Baby all the same now. No one can
I'll
ever
tell you what. I've
look.
been following some of the Diddy news, but I knew that you would find out what's been going on and let us know because baby oil. It just seems like everything is baby oil with this man.
Well, it's coming out now. He was indicted. He went to court, and he went back to New York, knowing that it looks like he knew he was not going to get bail or he's going to be summoned to the
Yeah.
courts. And so obviously the court case went through. He pleaded not guilty, but they denied him bail, and he offered to put up a 50 million bond, but again the bail was denied because they said he's a bit of a flight risk and he could escape and go to many of these little islands where he could seek, immunity as it stands. So P Diddy is currently in jail. I don't think he's languishing in jail. Languishing in jail means that you've got all your civil liberties really taken away. B Diddy's paying someone. He's got people
Yeah.
all over the place, and you probably got a load of people that's happy to see him, and a few of those in there just like rubbing their hands, like yo,
I'm getting a piece
P
of this
Diddy,
ass. Dear.
gonna get you tonight. Gonna have a bit of dids. But I think the most amazing thing was what they found in his house. I don't even know if we're over the watershed moment. I shouldn't really bring this until 9 o'clock about what they're finding in P Diddy's. But I don't know if anyone's been following the story of P Diddy. There's three lots of stories I actually want to bring that's associated with P Diddy. First of all, it's the man himself, Puff Love Jones, whatever his name is, about him and what they found in the house and all the memes and 50 Cent and everyone else weighing in on that. Then there's J Lo and her sudden split with Ben Affleck. So there's that
Wow.
story. And then there's also Kim Porter and her book that's just been released. Remember that was some undercover secret and they thought that's the
Hmm.
reason why she died? Well, it's been released now. So there's
Wow.
all this stuff going on in the news. And on top of that, we've got another sexual predator who's dead.
Who? Who's that?
Mohammed El Fayed, who used to own Harrods.
Harrods. Is he? Has he
There's
passed
all
away?
ages ago. There's all sorts of stories. I think it was last year. All sorts of stories coming out about how he abused women. Over 100 women have come forward talking about what he's done. Now, I don't understand why they're coming forward now. Why not when he was alive? I mean, we've had this Me Too movement for a little while now, and I think people should now. I think it's a time for people to stop being so scared. But it depends on what these people are threatening you with.
Mm.
But there's all sorts of scandals going on in the news at the moment.
Scandals.
All sorts. I don't
Scandalous.
even know what to bring out first. I don't know what to
Mm,
bring out
yeah.
first.
We got to talk about everything. I mean, it's it's just amazing how these artists and people that we've looked up for many years, the things that are coming out, the people are actually scared to bring out things, and like now that they are behind bars and everyone's coming out with the security coming out and telling stories, and I think like everybody who's involved is it must be worried right about now. There must be more coming out, you know.
So what?
And but what people fail to realize as well is that with a lot of the artists, they are like normal people like us, and they've gained the fame, and on top of the fame they've gained the power, and they've got money, and money talks. In this world money talks. You got money, people bend over for it. It's like, the promoter, DJs will go to the promoter because they
No
got the
pun
money.
intended. They literally bend
Money.
over. You know what I mean? No pun intended there.
Well, he's going to be comfortable in jail, isn't he?
He might find his queen there. He
Oh,
might find
God.
his queen. Talking about artists that are ordinary people. I was watching a short snip of Missy Elliott. She's my big. I'm her biggest fan. I
Hmm.
love her. I've got a girl crush on Miss Elliott from since she burst on the scene with Sister till her becoming Missy Elliott, Missy Misdemeanor. I love her music. I love her artistry. She's absolutely beautiful. And she spoke about when she was performing at the Super Bowl, and she said 4 hours before the Super Bowl, she was in hospital suffering from severe anxiety because she just thought, this is the Super Bowl, right? Millions of people are watching this. How am I going to perform? I'm not good enough. And I just think someone like her, who's like my
Mm.
idol, and I'm thinking, you're having anxiety attacks. So I get what you mean by people are human. We're expecting them just to be these natural performers, never been naturally confident. And sometimes people aren't. And
Mm.
even though they're in the spotlight doing the big things that they are still as scared as the next person to go on stage and start speaking. So there's a story there in never being afraid. But I'm going to talk about P. Diddy a bit later on because there's stuff that's been found that, I always say the watershed moment is 9 o'clock. So I will leave that till 9 a.m. But one of the things I want to talk about is, I do my film reviews, right? I watch programs and films and kind of talk about it on the show in hope that you guys will watch or not watch or provide your opinion. Now, Prince Andrew's coming back in the news for all
Oh,
sorts of reasons.
no.
I know. Just when you think it's over, it's not. But I think it was last year Netflix brought out Scoop, which was the infamous car crash interview with Emily Matisse. She was a BBC News broadcaster and Prince Andrew, in terms of the allegations that were coming out about him. And whilst Prince Andrew thought it was a great interview, it wasn't. And basically, he was, all his royal duties were taken away from him. His HRH title was removed, and he's
Hmm.
still got the Duke of York and living in this big 8 bedroom house with Fergie. The what do I call her now? She just sits there and just gets money. She's been bankrupt twice.
You
Now she's
believe
living
her?
with her ex-husband, so she doesn't have to pay a thing. And we're paying for them to live in this 8 bedroom house. And Prince Andrew
Mm.
doesn't want to move. So Prince Charles has actually removed his security now. So from the end
Okay.
of October, there's going to be no security there. So they're forcing him to move to Frogmore House, where Prince Harry lived with Meghan, and he's stamping his feet. But Amazon Prime released a very royal scandal, which was based on the same interview, and it really focused on the actual interview and the fallout, the aftermath of what happened with Emily in terms of her career and how she felt, and also kind of delving into how Prince Andrew felt and maybe his emotions around that time. And it was a very good show. It's a two-part series. It's always interesting to watch someone of the royal family going through some scandals. And I feel sorry for him. I really don't. I don't feel sorry for the royal family. I don't feel sorry for the daughters. I don't feel sorry for anybody.
Why should we? I mean,
Their father's a
they're
paedophile.
privileged, ain't they?
Yeah, they were
You know,
just
they're
born into it.
born with a silver spoon in their mouth, as so to say. Why shouldn't they be like us? What is so special about? I mean, they could take someone off the street, just normality, and just make them into this royal blue blood or whatever, and that's it. They've got this special privilege. They are humans, just like us. They die just like us.
Listen, as
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned, they all look like horses.
they
They've got this.
do. I wouldn't be
Princess
surprised if
Anne.
they. I wouldn't be surprised if they, if there's some kind of horse
The,
relative going on there.
they,
Mind I don't get myself in trouble.
in it, in
Oh,
it.
talking about the royal family, knock on the door. Let me play a track.
They do look a bit horsey though.
Meh.
Purple is a colour that's not in people's wardrobes. I'm telling you. So purple has been a very difficult colour to get. It's been a very difficult colour to get. But nevertheless, I'm abiding by the rules. I'm not going into it right now. We had this purple thing the other week. I know. I'm not saying a word. I am going to wear purple dress. Okay? Let's just leave it right there.
What I will say, I did have an in deep depth conversation with the promoter, and he did say, I told him the women's concern of today's age, and he says, yes, I know, but the theme of the ball is a purple dress, and that is what I want for my function. And if you don't want to abide by the terms and conditions which I've set out, do not attend. So, ladies, if you are going to attend, ladies cannot dress in trousers because it is a purple
I,
dress ball, and that's what it
yeah,
is.
he can have what he
So,
wants, but does it stand up in court? But anyway, we're not going
yes,
there. We're
it
not
will.
going there. We're not going there.
But you
I
know
want to go.
what? Search for your purple dresses. I'm sure you ladies will look absolutely lovely,
I'm going in
especially you.
lilac. I'm going in
Lilac's
lilac.
fine. You can if you want to come
Lilac
in
mauve.
lilac mauve is fine.
I
That
hope
that
so.
will
That
be
we can have
accepted.
a variation of
We got
purple.
the
What if I want?
it's a variation. It's not strictly purple. As long as you don't turn up in a red dress, but if it's like a lilac, purpley color, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay.
Just these different shades of purple. It doesn't have to be a purple. But the main thing is, do not turn up in the trousers because he said you won't get in, and he
Oh,
said take me to court. So he's adamant on that.
oh
But
dear.
let's
Well,
move on with the music.
let's move on. First of all, I want to say good morning to Jackie Sinclair. I know you haven't been well, hun. So here's some blessings going to you. I hope you get better soon, or I hope you are better soon. And thanks for joining the show. Now, Eileen turned around and said that we're going to be summoned to the tower. Now we should be careful. We're not back in the medieval times, Eileen. Not like, I was watching Braveheart the other day about William Wallace and committing treason. We are committing treason, really. We're going against the throne or the crown. And if what happened to William Wallace back in the day happened to us, I'm telling you, we'll be quaking at the knees. Now, in the film, it depicted that right at the end, he shouted freedom, and he was hung. He was drawn, and then he had his guts taken out. But actually, more happened to him than that. And what actually happened to him is that he was first dragged naked behind a horse to his place of execution, and then he was kind of hung and drawn out whilst he was still alive. Then he had his privy parts cut off and burned in front of him, and then they
Hmm.
cut him open, removed all his entrails, his heart, and then they sent that off to various parts of the UK. And then they got his head, they dipped it in tar, and they placed it on a spike in London Bridge. Now imagine if that was happening today. We wouldn't be saying any of them look like a horse. We'd be saying, oh, we love them. We love them. They are the epitome of life. I go there and hang outside Buckingham Palace all the time.
You liar. You ain't even got time hanging out. But do you know what? It does amaze me how people do love the royal family. Um, you know, um, but they are just humans like us who just got privileged. They just been born in the
And
right
look like
place, the right
horses,
time,
yeah.
and me. I know it's really funny. Like some people say that the animals look like them, like their dogs look like them. And sometimes you walk down the road, and I always look at this, and I think, you look at the dog, and then you look at the owner, and you think, yeah, they do look alike. They own a lot of horses, maybe. I don't know.
Some of them look strange, That's all I'm saying to you. Some of them look very strange. So let's.
Mm,
I'm going to leave it right there with the royal family,
yeah,
and
they'll be
just.
after you.
I'm telling
Nothing
you
to do
that.
with me. It's all her. Let's throw you under the bus.
Okay. Well, ladies, I'm going to announce this. If you are looking for a man, I've got the place to go for you. I've got the place. It's the first time I've been somewhere where men outstrip women. I was shocked. It was a man's hunting ground, a woman's hunting ground, I should say. That I went to the little old lovely heritage centre on Saturday to support Miss L Vibes in her music with Mr. Fix down there, and I'm not joking. There was men, like I said, men outstrip the women. Now, depending on what kind of man you like, you know, if you're not fussed, that is, if you're really not fussed, then get yourself down to the Heritage Centre and bag yourself a man down there. They're down there for rich pickings, I'm telling you. But I can't categorically um, uh, tell you about their clothing items and things, because the man that took us to London, he was a coach driver. Remember, I did the video and he had gold
Mm,
shoes on. Do you remember I took a picture of his sparkly gold
yeah,
shoes, a video? He was there. Do you know how I recognised him? Do you know how I recognised him?
the gold shoes.
He had the shoes on. He walking through the crowd, I could see bling, bling, gold light just sparkling off his shoes. And I'm like, that's the coach driver, the minibus driver. Yeah, he had the shoes on, man. People come out there in their outfits and their good shoes. Crocs, gold, anything goes, ladies. So if you're into these kind of shoes, hey, go there, go
Question:
there.
Did you pull?
Listen, I could have pulled 4 or 5. The worst
That's
thing
not what I
is
said.
that
I said, did you pull?
the worst thing I said, the worst thing that is there is that I was afraid to look up because I felt like if I made eye contact, they're going to come towards me because you could just see eyes around. And I thought, if I look at you, that might look like I'm saying, come here. So I just kind of was looking around, looking down everywhere. No, because I didn't pull. Unless I wanted gold or croc shoes or hats, walking sticks.
Could collect a walking stick or two.
Could pick up an old man. I could become a carer. That's what will happen there. I would become a carer. That's what will happen. But I don't want to diss the heritage because I love the place. It's just like very intimate, very an integral part of Wolverhampton, and it's shrouded in some history there as well. But it is like it is it's like an old person's youth club. It's like an old person's youth club, and it's pretty special. It really is. And I looked there and I just thought, I hope I'm not going to be like this in my older life. When you're the only person on the floor dancing, you're just enjoying yourself. There was one woman there on her own, just really getting into the crux of the music. She was just going in, and then you had this man there that did not stop dancing till from when I reached till it ended. He must have been in his 70s. So, you know what? Good on them. Good on them. Do I want to be that person in later life? Maybe. Don't be afraid. Go out on your own and dance and have a good time. That's what we need to do. That's probably what keeps them young and sprightly. So, no criticism. But yeah, ladies, you want to pick up a man and you're not fussed? Heritage is the place, man. Go Heritage.
Controversial as it gets, just like the referees of the football matches these days turning against some of the mighty Gooners, the mighty Arsenal.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about football. I don't want to talk about football. Anyway, let's come back to some news here. Now, coming back to some serious news. I was reading about a nurse who was struck off for hiding during emergencies and not giving a terminal cancer patient pain relief. That's the whole reason to why you're a nurse, right? So she was struck off the Nursing and Midwifery Committee and suspended for 18 months due to a wide range of medical issues at a hearing that was held earlier this month. Now, they said that a report into her misconduct happened as early as January 2019, and concerns were being raised about her on almost every shift. Now, on 2 occasions, she also refused to provide a terminal cancer patient with pain relief despite being asked for by the consultant and the patient's family in 2019. And she also discharged a patient who was still in hospital waiting for some test results as well. So I kind of wonder why we have nurses like this still going on in this day and age, being able to get away with this.
Wow.
Hiding during emergencies. How can that happen? I'm trying
Well,
to
it just
find
goes to
the
show,
whole
like
story. I had a snippet here and then the whole story went.
like I said, the human behavior, it's like, people of responsibility. Some people just want the money. They don't really have their heart. You've got some people who, appreciate what they do and they really care about people. And then you get some people who just do it for the money. I mean, imagine that you're a nurse and, people call them angels, hell's angels, some of them. That's what I would say. But hiding during an emergency when somebody really needs you, it could be somebody's life. They should definitely be struck off.
Do you know, I was reading an article about a doctor, about a man, and he's an Indian fella, and his parents wanted him to be a doctor. I think he wanted to be an architect or something like that. But apparently, every time, and he was training to become a doctor, like what his parents wanted. And whilst he was in training, he couldn't take the sight of blood, so he used to faint all the time. And obviously, this was put up to the college or the university that he was at, and having to try and explain to his parents that he cannot continue being a doctor because he can't stand the sight of blood and fainting all the time. And I can't. Feeling the wrath of parents that expect you to do a certain job must be really tough as well, like becoming a doctor. But like you said, in terms of a nurse, you're there to do a job. You're there to look after a person. Bit like the police, really, isn't it? The police are there to uphold the law and to try and keep us safe, but they don't always do that. And talking about the police, the Met officer who held a taser to a black boy's neck has been found guilty of misconduct.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I think he's been watching too much American movies. And it is sad, really. You get people in the law, but again, we look at the police and we say, these are people that are supposed to be looking after us. And some of the police officers that are in the force, a lot of them are racist. Some of them come from old countryside, never managed, people of color before, or certain people, and they think that being a police officer gives them the right to treat people, and people must obey what they say because they are a police officer. When a police officer stops you and you ask them for their warrant card, they're supposed to show it, and they feel just because I've got the uniform on, I don't need to show it. Just because you've got uniform on doesn't mean that you're an officer. You could be a fraud.
exactly. And I think that the problem is that he had put the taser to his neck
Yeah.
as well,
Imagine that had
and
gone off.
and they're saying that though it had gone off.
Oh, did
Um,
it? Oh, wow.
yeah, but the incident happened during a stop and search in Greenwich, and the police said they were hunting for a man armed with let's read it here, with a samurai sword and wearing an all-black tracksuit with a hood. Now, this gentleman was not even wearing dark clothing nor a hood, but some of his friends were. And but the officers with tasers surrounded Powell, the young chap who didn't have a hoodie on or a tracksuit. Um, and the police stopped. But luckily, his friend filmed the incident on the phone,
Good.
which proved crucial because the police officer did not activate his body-worn camera.
Good.
So the footage couldn't be provided by the Met, but his friend had filmed it all.
Mm. I mean, you're going.
So he had been forced to the ground by the Met Police, okay? And the force had investigated the incident and actually cleared the officers of any wrongdoing. But the Independent Office for the Police Conduct was pressed to investigate it. And then they found out that he was actually wrong. He
Good.
didn't actually taser him, sorry. He put the taser on his neck. You are absolutely
Mm.
correct. And the young chap feared for his actual life.
Yeah, I could imagine, like, thinking that he's a police officer, you know, like I said, watching too many Netflix movies. And
Yeah.
this is what the reality is.
But I still think that not enough has been done for rogue police, and I think the problem is also is having worked in police stations. A lot of the police these days are very young people on the streets. They are in their early 20s, fresh out of university, and now walking the streets. A lot of them are scared themselves. You put
Mm.
themselves in a situation with an intimidating group of young black men, and they're like, "Well, I'm just going to kill someone or just defend myself rather than try and uphold the law." Some of these people are just too young to even be on the streets.
Yeah. I mean, while I was in Jamaica, I spent some time with one of my cousins who is a police officer. She's married to a white guy who is a police officer, who was a police officer. And in fairness to some of the officers, he had actually left the force because of the racism and, the corruption of the institutionalized police. And when I obviously spoke to him many years ago, he was in charge of or investigating corrupt police officers and trying to get them straight. And he said it's so bad in the force that he could no longer stay as a police officer. And my cousin was saying, it's really bad. They do discipline rogue police officers apparently, and she was telling me. It's something obviously we don't really hear about, but police officers are scared to do certain things because anybody complains, it does get investigated. So we only hear of some of the stories in the news. There is quite a lot that goes on in the background. Apparently, my cousin was telling me, but her husband has left the police force because of he just felt the injustice to what they do to black people, and apparently they are short of police officers because of this reason.
Uh, they're short of nurses, they're short of police officers, they're short
Mm.
of midwives, they're short of carers, they're short of everybody in this damned country right now. Honestly, it's a hotbed of a mess. And but yeah, let's play a track, and we'll come back to the fact that I was listening to a news show the other day, and they said that Stormzy started to sprint. Now, obviously, when you've got that kind of money, you can engage the top sprinters to help you perform and get up to your game. Now, they're also
Mm.
saying that 95% of us, 95% of over 31s no longer sprint. Who sprints after 31? I certainly don't run for a bus. Over 31, are you a sprinter? Are you one of these sprinters? Do you run for a bus? I don't. I
I do run. I
definitely
do
don't.
run after buses, and I do get out of breath. But been trying to walk a lot more now. Actually went for a late night walk in my Crocs, but trying to get the muscles going because I realized that after watching my uncle, and he says he doesn't stop moving, he never stopped moving, and I thought, what, when I get to his age of the grand 95 and he's like still like a young spring chicken, I would love to be like that. So I'm getting my muscles working. I'm
I'll tell you.
dancing. I'm moving my bones. I'm actually want to take up a program and get myself fit. Jackie Fit would love this. Yes,
Oh, I'll come back
motivation
to that after this
indeed.
as well. But I want to know the sprinters. Do you know, I was just trying to get this article, and I wasn't doing it in time. I'll have to read it tomorrow because it's just a bit too funny. It really is.
Why not today?
I just didn't get it in time. I just didn't get it in time. That's all. That's all.
Okay, okay.
But so yes, did we have any people that do sprinting over 31? I certainly don't run for buses anymore. No, no way. If I'm not there early, I'm getting the next one. I've learned from a very young age that who was it? Was it Martin Lawrence that said it? Do you want me to get there safe early or hurt late?
But you know what? There's times when you just need to get on that bus because the next one's like 20 minutes away and you need to get a train. You miss that. Tell me something. If you were going to the airport and let's say you was getting on a bus and he was late and you needed to get, you're not going to drag your cases and rush as quick as you can. You're going to miss the plane. But
J-
no,
j-
you're always on time. I know what you're going to say. I
Thank
know
you,
you leave
thank
early.
you, thank you. When it
But the
comes,
scenario.
I'm an ex air stewardess, so I was taught to get to places, especially to get flights early enough on time. I like to get my airport experience is a whole thing for me. It's part of that
Mm,
flight experience. I like to get there early. I like to be able to walk through without rushing. I can't stand getting to the airport sweating, rushing to get to the gate, rushing to get to the checkout, rushing through security. Can't get no duty free. No, all of that. No, no, no. Three and a half
mm.
hours there. I'm there. Get something to eat. Have a nice glass of wine. Chill out and walk
I must admit,
slowly to the
yeah.
gate.
I love getting to the airport like I don't care if it's a European flight, I'm getting there 4 hours early. I'd rather be early than 5 minutes late and miss that door.
Yeah.
I do love the whole experience of flying and
Yeah.
getting on the plane and taking my time. And the other thing is I just don't rush anymore. If I get on the plane, I'm just like, well, and everybody's rushing to get on the plane. I'm thinking, look, you're all going to get a seat. Take my time. I'll sit down, play a game, watch a movie. When everyone gets on, I'm the last. I don't mind being the last one, to
Yeah.
get on, but getting my seat nice and comfortable and
Yeah,
fly.
I don't like running for anything. I don't. I like to be on time. So yeah, that's my. I mean, occasionally, yes, that last train back to Wolverhampton, you gotta catch it. Gotta run like what's
There
her
you
name?
go. That last train back to Wolverhampton. That's a thing. Imagine that last train. You need to sprint 100 meters because you got like 2 minutes to get that
Listen,
train.
I'll be like Alison Bolt,
See,
going
there
down
you
for
go.
that
You
train.
would sprint if you need to sprint. You would. There, that's a
I
good.
would. I
That's a
would.
good one. It's
It's a
either
good
that or
one.
you miss the next one. Get the next one in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and sleep in the station.
Sleep in the station, or take a taxi, take a Uber all the way to Wolves. I'd do that.
A very expensive journey. Yes, you
It,
would.
It would be, but in order not to stay there, or just stay in a hotel for the night, and go first thing in the morning, that would be the one. But I hear you talking about exercise. I'm watching. You know what? Everyone's doing exercise at the moment. Even I've just seen A-list to come on and start doing these weights. In
I
front of the
see him
camera.
pumping the weights.
Everyone's doing it. So, and the funny thing is that just last week I decided, you know what, I need to get my fitness up. Working from home is fine, it's lovely, but you do sit down a lot and I don't move a lot. So I've decided to move. I've gone back to swimming. I went swimming 3 times. I went very early in the morning, 5:30. I left my house, got in the pool early, had my swim. And because I haven't swum for ages, normally I swim like 40 to 60 lengths. And I was just like, at first I was like, I'll do a slow 10. just to get myself back into it. But I did actually 25, so I was really pleased with
I
myself.
wish I
And
wish I could just do one length back
yeah,
and forward. I do admire swimmers. I just love the way people float in the water, and I get in the water and think, why can't I just, you know, underneath, come
oh,
out,
it's a
splashing, and just,
it's a
like a
great
cruising. Me, I'm like, I'm out of breath. Gosh.
it's not. Do you know you are spurred on by the other swimmers there because there's like a free bit where people can just like
I just
skinny
can't
dip, not
float.
skinny dip,
I
and then
just,
there's the other two lanes where the swimmers are. So you're urged on by the other swimmers. You know when you want to stop and you see people
mm,
just keep going and you think I want to do that. I'm just going to keep going, and before long, you keep up with the pace. You
okay.
you do, but
Swim, swim away.
and then I went for a nice almost like 4 mile walk. I went through the back of my park there, walked up some hills. Oh, saw some great views and came back down round to the petrol station and then came back up my road. I've got a vicious hill, man, a vicious hill. And after a long walk, you just don't want to do that. But you know what? It was good. And then I walked. It was
But
good.
don't you
Did a lot of
find
walking.
after doing a long walk, or you do something, at the end of it, you just feel really relaxed and satisfied?
No, I feel more energetic actually. I'm full of energy, especially if it's first thing in the morning.
Mm.
It's great, and I understand what it is like with people that go to the gym and get hooked on to the gym because it's like that. And D Brown says I exercise and push weights at least twice a week now. I think so. I think in our older ages we move a lot less than we did when we were younger. I think it's really important to exercise, get your cardio going. I've
Mm.
even so there's some classes I'm going into. There's one called Bungee Fit where you're on like a bungee thing and you're going to be doing exercise. So I've signed up for that tomorrow. So I can't wait for that class. That's going to be good. And then I found one that does pole dancing and not just pole dancing. They do like aerial fitness. So they do the silks and
Mm.
they do the hoops.
Oh, that's
So
good.
I might
And
try and do this.
hoops is a very good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to do the silks, but I heard they hurt, so I don't know. I'm going to see
Mm.
pole, silk, or hoops. Which one? People, come on, let's choose. So this
I
is
don't
in
know what
Birmingham.
silks
It's in,
is.
like what Pink did for her concert. It's two pieces of silk strings, and they do all the air. They wrap themselves around it and do different things in there.
Okay. Oh, in the ear.
Yeah,
Oh, when they do, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh,
yeah,
listen, we'll talk more about it when we come back after this.
yay.
So, what you got for us right now?
Oh, I thought you normally come in and play some music, Mr. Sharky DJ. Huh?
Well, you have to go shortly, so I thought we'll give you a chance to chat.
Oh, thank you so much. So, like I said, I'm going to be taking up different exercises very, very soon, and I'll bring you the details of what they like, and see if we can get anybody else to join. Now, in the news, now if you live in Sussex, I do feel sorry for you. Be careful if you live in Sussex because there's a phantom pooper going on around out there. You know
Phantom
those
pooper
ones. Yeah, yeah. Now, there's a hunt going
sounds
on for a
gross.
Sussex man who keeps taking a poo in a neighbour's road and he even brings his own loo roll. I'm glad he does that, but if he leaves everything there, I don't know what's worse, if he poop or if he poop and then leave the loo roll with the aftermath on it just
I
there
think,
laid
I
bare
think
for
if you're gonna poop,
everybody.
just leave the poop in it. Is because if you see the roll and that, it even feels even more disgusting. God's sake, there's some mad people about the place.
There are, but the sleepy Sussex seaside village of Canberra is being blighted by this so-called phantom pooper. He's going around the area defecating in public places.
Mm-mm.
Now, in CCTV footage, as last taken, I think Thursday morning, he could be seen stood in the corner of a garage on what appears to be a residential street with a toilet roll in a hand. He then proceeds to squat with his pants down to do his business in plain sight of any passers-by who might happen to walk past. And then further
Disgusting.
footage shows the man walking away from the scene, still carrying his toilet paper.
Mm-mm.
I think he's
Terrible.
got. I think he's got some a mental health issue.
Mm.
They're saying this mysterious man keeps leaving unwanted deposits
Mm-mm.
in a person's residential driveway. Oh,
Gosh.
he must have a reason for it. He must have a mental health issue. He's got to. Most people that do this defecating thing. I don't know what it is. It's almost like in prison they call it a dirty protest. when they smear all over the walls. In fostering, they call it smearing. A child could be a smearer. They take their own feces and smear against the walls. And in prison,
Dear.
it's a dirty protest. So, yeah,
Disgusting.
I know it's
Disgusting.
related to trauma, I think, and some sort of mental health issue. Why would you want to do that? That's garnering some serious attention, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you a smearer, Sharky?
Do, if I'm protesting, will I be doing that? Let me think about it. No.
I mean, I even get upset if a little bit gets on my hand by mistake. I'm like, ah! Let alone getting.
And it's something that would happen to most people. Get on your hands by accident. The worst one is if, like, say for instance, you're gonna go and then let's say for instance, somebody else has used it and you don't see it and it's on the seat or something like that. you know.
Listen,
Glad
don't
that
get
I'm
me
not a
started.
woman.
I don't want to see it in the
We're not
toilet.
gonna talk about that.
No, no, no. I really, I tell you, I can deal with the
Oh,
toilet seat up. I can deal with that. I don't care about that. That toilet seat could be left up all day and night. I don't care. What I don't like to see is the remnants of the
no.
aftermath of what you've been. I think it's the most off-putting thing ever. Like I said, I went on a first date with someone, not first date. I'd gone to his house and I'd seen that in the toilet, and I was out of there like a flash. Out.
Stop. Can you stop revealing my business, please?
Oh, you're still here, so it could have been you. Telling
Oh,
you. D
oh
Brown
dear.
said you should bag them and use them for fertilizer. Post it to Africa. Some dung beetle get some worthiness out of it or something. I don't know.
Dear.
I don't know,
Terrible.
but no,
Absolutely.
that's not nice. Getting a person, and how do they know? Well, it's on CCT camera, by the way. Because
Yeah.
I thought for a minute, I thought, how do they identify between a person and a dog? Is it got a different consistency? I don't know. But talking about dogs, very quickly, there are people that have jobs and there are people that have jobs. And there are some jobs that I will just never do, never think about. It just wouldn't even come into my sphere. Now, I would work in a funeral parlour, though. Funny thing enough, maybe years ago, I probably would have been my jobs that I said I would never do.
Work
But
and just dress the dead bodies and that. Good money,
yeah,
That's good
don't
money.
be afraid of the dead. It's the living. Mum always told me it's the living you need to be afraid of, not the
It's
dead. I'm
true.
telling you now.
Some
So,
people get freaked out by looking at a dead body. I mean, people don't real. Some people don't know, but I do a lot of streaming of funerals, and I see a lot of dead bodies. I go to funerals, and before it used to bother me. It doesn't bother me now. And people say, "How could you look at dead bodies?" And it's just like, you know what? I could go up to it, look it, touch it. Don't bother me.
they're at peace now.
Yeah.
They're not in. Would you rather look at a dead body or would you rather look at someone in pain? I'm not saying I would rather anybody to die or anything like that, but I found a certain peacefulness when my mother had died and I'd had the opportunity to see her. It was kind of like the second time I'd ever seen a dead body in my entire life was my mother. The first one was Marva's mum, which was my mum's best friend way back when I was 11. And the second one was my mum. And it was hard, but she looked like she was in peace
Mm.
finally. My mum went through a hard illness, and I took some pleasure out of it, knowing that she had gone to a better place and she was in peace. So yeah. But for me, working in a funeral parlor, I would do that. I would love to make someone uh, feel special about their parents and how they've been prepared.
Mm.
That you're bringing some comfort to
Yeah.
someone. I
Somebody
find,
caring.
yeah, I find that would be such a more fulfilling job than working in an office doing a 9 till 5. You're actually doing something for someone.
And the thing about it is, with the way that the world works, we need people to do things, and these are the sort of things that these are sort of things that need to be done to make the
Mm.
world tick. Just like a dustbin man. That's why I would never dis or say anything if I see somebody emptying out the rubbish, because somebody needs to do it. I see guys, young guys outside my house, and I say hello to them. Cleaners in the office always will say good morning, hello, have a little chat, because they're human beings and they're doing a job. It's the world ticks. So just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you're better than a cleaner. Okay, you may have more prestigious, but yeah, hey. But listen, I'm gonna play a track, and when we come back, I want to talk about films because this
Okay.
trying to pronounce it. Exemptions,
Oh, exhumations.
exhumations. I
Exhumation.
was
Yeah,
trying to pronounce. I was
exhumations.
getting tongue twisted, and she's saying a total different experience indeed.
Yes, I could imagine. I could imagine. But yeah, I would work it definitely. I think my next job would be working in a funeral parlor, doing something a little bit more fulfilling. I think, and bringing some joy to people's hearts for their loved ones. Definitely, I will do that. But anyway, just for the last couple of minutes of the show, I kind of want to talk about. I nearly forgot about him. I kind of want to talk about P Diddy.
Oh
And
yes.
I mentioned him at the top of the hour when I came in this morning. But so P Diddy's is in jail right now, languishing in jail. We don't know if he's going to get out. We don't know if it's going to be waiting to all the way till his actual court case, which you know is going to be months.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to take. Come on, Willow. It's not going to be a hot minute for that court case to come alive. But what they found in his house has been going round on Twitter, Instagram, and 50 Cent has definitely weighed in on this. 1,000 bottles of baby oil was found in P Diddy's house, as well as
Wow.
hundreds of dildos.
Wow.
Baby oil and dildos were found in P Diddy's house,
Mm-mm.
as well as AK-47s, rifles, ammunition, as well as other bits and pieces, as well as I believe some videos were found, and I believe that people have got their hands on videos now. People that there's lots of people making waves in on this. Kim Kardashian, somehow the Kardashian family has come into it because they're saying that Kim Kardashian got her hands on some of the videos and has been blackmailing. Somebody put it on Twitter, and her lawyer put out a cease and desist notice on him putting that out there on Twitter. Um, and also, J Lo is now being implicated in this because you know her and Ben spectacularly got back
Mm.
together. Then they got married, and then they split up this year. And everyone's wondering why they actually split because there's
Mm.
no information out there. But the rumor mills are going, and what they're saying is that Ben Affleck learnt about what Jennifer's involvement was with Diddy. Obviously, they've been building the case with Diddy, right?
Yeah.
And they've been going back out there with little Rod Jones coming out and saying all the implications that Diddy was involved in as well, the kidnapping, the trafficking, the intimidation and everything. And so I think investigations have been going on with the police. Now I don't know if they've been speaking with Jennifer Lopez to find out what she knew about his shenanigans. And obviously they've got some information on her that probably Ben found out about that Ben wasn't too happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Did J Lo indulge in the threesomes? All of his girlfriends indulged in threesomes. Kim Porter said it, that she was involved with male prostitutes. Cassie said so. So why would J Lo be different? And J
Mm.
Lo was right at the top of her career when she first went with Diddy as well, and he exposed her to the industry and got her music going. So something's going on there. And Ben Affleck left Jennifer for a reason, and lots of people are believing it's to do with P Diddy and what's coming out. And will there be further noise coming out from that? Now, also, everyone's staying quiet on the celebrity circuit. Beyonce, not a word. Jay-Z, not a word. All the people that have been to these freak offs, not
Well,
a
I'll tell you
word from
something.
them.
I've actually seen a video with Jay Z sitting in this, with ladies in the background, and I'm seeing some things that was going on, and I'm like, you shouldn't be there, mate. You should not be there.
Listen, a lot of people shouldn't have been there. Now, Oprah was connected to P Diddy. So was Obama. The royals have been around P Diddy. Who wasn't around P Diddy? Who didn't go to his parties? But not everybody could get into the freak offs. Now, they were special rooms. You'd be invited to a P Diddy party, but the downstairs bit was where the action was. That's where the action was happening. And you know what they were saying as well, that some people are coming out and saying that the freak offs used to last days. Some people can't even last 10 minutes, let alone days. Right? If you can
Well,
get past 10 minutes, you must be taking a couple of blue pills. There must be blue pills there,
Red Bull,
just Red Bull, blue pills, magnums,
Magnums,
all of that kind of good stuff is there, as well as the amount of narcotics that was found
cocaine,
to be there.
heroin.
Ketamine. Why is ketamine such a favorite? That's horse tranquilizer. What is it with this horse tranquilizer that people want to use? It knocks out horses. You're not supposed to inject it into your body or sniff it, smoke it, or whatever you're doing. Cocaine, crack. What's that one? Crystal meth is the other drug of choice amongst these superstars. Now, the other person that people are concerned about, before I quickly go, is Justin Bieber. Now, we know that the fallout from the hip hop world with Justin Bieber was quite apparent. He's never been the same. I watched his downfall play out on social media when he used to walk the streets shaking like a crackhead. It was really sad to watch because I love Justin Bieber. I've got a super crush on him. I love his music as well. I think he makes absolutely fantastic music. I think he's so good looking and such a talented little boy that was abused wholly and solely by the system to where he's come out to now. And everyone's waiting and watching to see whether Justin was abused by the Diddy camp and whether he's actually going to come out and say so. Something happened with Justin. It happened with Usher, but he got over it quite quickly. Whatever it was, Justin, Usher let them in and let them out again. So I'll carry on with this tomorrow because I've got to run. Everybody else, read up on your Diddy news and what's going on. There's lots of things to come in the coming months, lots of things. And I'll pick up on the Muhammad Al Fayed news tomorrow. And so that's going to be goodbye from me and Willow Cakes. She's here with me. Bye.
Well, we'll talk about films tomorrow because I've been watching.
You want to talk about films? Sorry.
That's all right. You got to go now. But
well, maybe you can talk about it whilst I'm not here and we'll pick up about it tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what? I've actually been hooked in, and I'm sure a lot of people have watched it. It's, been out for a long while, and it took me a little while to get into it, but I've been kind of hooked on Dexter.
Oh, well, we can either talk about it later or tomorrow. Right now, HPQ's going to run. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the Breakfast Flight Show with HPQ News. We'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.